Welcome to the following presentation of Minor League Esports on the MLE Network.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Minor League Esports here on the main stream here on Twitch. We are bringing you some Champion League action to kick off your day, but before we get into the gameplay side of things, let me introduce myself. I am Fallen, and joining me for this wonderful cast is the man to my left. He's actually on my right on the screen, but he's to my left in the VMix. It is Junior PQ. Junior, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man, and not only am I doing good, we also got some absolute bangers of some matchups tonight. We got Wolves versus Puffins. They're separated by just one game. Wolves 8-7, Puffins 7-8, and I mean, we couldn't ask for a better way to start off this stream over here on the main channel.
Yeah, especially with such a pretty man on the front cover. Jesus, you never told me you looked that good, Junior. But not getting distracted for a second, let us focus on the gameplay at hand. We have Spidey and, I believe, Odin for the Puffins, a team of 13-5 and a 14 salary. Not sure if that was respective or not. I'll let you pick up on that one once I'm done. But for the Wolves, you've got Samurai and you've got You Were Cool, who my team in CL have had a couple of issues with, but came over through a 3 series at the beginning of the season. So really, there's a lot of good players on the field, and we're fully aware of the skill level that each one has. It does feel like, though, the Wolves have that slight advantage in terms of like the mechanical skill.
No, absolutely, and the way that this series carries is immense at that. I mean, we could be determining somebody or securing a spot towards the top of their division at the end of this. Wolves, if they get a 3-2 win or better, they could be moving on much higher, cementing that spot even more. Puffins need a little bit more than that. They need a 4-1 or a 5-0, which, given the skill of these teams, I think that a 5-0 is unlikely, but I mean, it's Rocket League. Anything could happen at the end of the day.
Yeah, apologies there. I lost you for a second in terms of audio, but we got you back at the end. As you said, yeah, it's a close series. The Wolves only needing that 3-2 to top the division and secure at least 4th place in the conference, which is so important. Only top 7 teams make it to playoffs, and as we look to get the players ready now for game number 1 of this 5-match series, Junior, I'm gonna throw it to you. It's time for some predictions. Who do you think takes it and why?
Well, both the Wolves and the Puffins, they've shown they can punch a little bit higher than their weight class, getting wins over the 10th and the 11th seed respectively. But now they're fighting against each other now. They've got to find some games. I think I got to go with the Wolves just because I believe of the result over the Sabres, 4-1 earlier on in the season. But anything can happen, and right now Spidey's proven me wrong. 1-0, first 7 seconds already, and Puffins have the advantage.
Love the aggression there from Odin. A little bit of a misflip there from Samurai, and You Were Cool not able to find it with a backflip, and a very strong start for the Puffins. I had it written down beforehand. I spoke to you a little bit before the stream. If the Puffins were to get away into this series, they'd have to start off strong. This is perfect. Spidey looks to put that on target. Samurai will put that to the side. That is a beautiful shot from Odin, though, over the top of the last defender and into the back corner. And the Puffins have 2 goals in 16 seconds.
No, absolutely. This is the perfect start you can ask for. Odin and Spidey are working together incredibly well right now. Both goals assisted, 2 goals on 3 shots. This is the perfect offensive start that you could really ask for. 2 goals right off the bat, starting off strong in game number 1. Right now we've seen Wolves mainly on defense. We haven't really seen them be able to break out of the purple half and into their opponent's attacking third. So we'll have to see as the game goes on. Here's an opportunity for Samurai. He's going to find himself with some space. The shot easily knocked away by Odin as he continues this possession. Actually, Wolves will keep a hold of this. They'll make sure that they can hold on to the ball, keep it down in this orange half. It's an open net. Samurai on the race. He's going to put it into the bottom left-hand corner, finds the opener for Wolves, and makes the mountain about half his call to climb.
Yeah, You Were Cool, quick to turn on that one. Actually doesn't put it on target. Samurai forced to make the follow through to make sure of it. But in the case of Spidey there, looks for the squishy clear off of his own roof of his own net, but not able to find it. And really, you don't want to be taking undue risks at the beginning of a series. Yeah, you're probably feeling yourself after going 2 goals up very, very early on, but making those light mistakes, that can cost you in a long-term series, because each of them will start mounting up and games will start to fall away because of it. But right now, the Puffins offense having to fall back into their own half. Samurai, good touch up onto the backboard, not finding the read was Spidey, but Odin with a good follow through there in the Fennec. There's a couple of Fennecs on the field here. I think there's 2 and 2 Octanes. It's a good even spread of that hitbox.
Yeah, not only is the even hitbox just proving itself over here on BFH Stadium, but also just even this as we start to shift into the middle of this game right now. I mean, we've crossed that 90-second mark, and the Wolves have started to stabilize a little bit, and the Puffins have started to cool off as well. That's going to be a crucial miss for You Are Cool, as this ball can stay down here, and the Wolves have. So that's a missed shot by Spidey. Missed opportunity. It was almost handed to him on a platter, but he couldn't convert that one.
Yeah, here comes Odin. Over the top of one, looks to try and put it on target. You Were Cool, good job at the near post to keep that one at bay. Now we'll look to drive it down the field. Spidey will take it off his backboard. We'll look to try and control it into the corner where Odin's waiting, and instead just take the ball away from his teammate. Maybe not the best touch there, and it will give the Wolves free possession and free reign here. They're going to go up for something special, but the bump from Odin will just take Samurai away from the ball and give Samurai all the time in the world to make that touch. And, well, now the Puffins will look for a quick counter-attack, and they will find it. Spidey puts it beyond the reaches of Samurai, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, it looked like Boost just got a little bit exhausted. You Were Cool running back with only 40 Boost, and Samurai just in an incredibly awkward spot to get up to that ball in the first place. It's 1-3. That 2-goal advantage is refound for the Puffins as they themselves begin to stabilize a little bit on offense and on defense as they start to create these chances like we saw in the first minute of play. Samurai, he's finding another weak clear. Spidey shot, a slow roller across the goal line, but no man there to follow it up. Some more aerial acrobatics coming in right now, trying to find some kind of a solo play to open up the defense, but none of it's found so far. We've crossed halftime right now. Puffins still have the advantage, still playing, I'd say, the best net game so far in terms of total performance, but that could change on a moment's notice as Wolves. They are finding some possession, just not finding the goals that they need to.
Yeah, the aggression is there. The composure on offense, maybe not so much. Here's an opportunity. Odin forced to put that off his own backboard. That will waterfall down. Spidey looks for the squishy again, can't find it. But Odin will bail him out once again. Another good save. You Were Cool. Slams it into the near post. Not able to put it on target. And now the Puffins with a 1-man break here. Now making a 2-man break. Spidey looks at the shot. The demo can't come through from Odin. And a quick counter-attack will almost favour the Wolves as Odin will just about recover. But You Were Cool will not miss a very grounded double tap to make it 3-2 and half the deficit down to just 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Spidey almost got back to this. Just a little bit of an unfortunate touch off the hood of his car. And now with the lead slowly being chipped away too, like an axe being taken to a solid trunk of wood. But now they've got to find one more Wolves if they want to at least tie this, send it to overtime. They've got 90 seconds to put that final goal on the board to truly equalize here. And right now, Puffins continuing to barrel down. That's going to be another missed shot off the post. Another great opportunity, just not able to be converted. It feels like that Wolves have been on defense for a large part. In fact, the saves are all in the Puffins camp. Meanwhile, it feels like all of the shots that are strong are coming out of the Wolves, but really, in the scoreboard, Puffins are leading on that as well.
Oh, the bump there from Spidey took Samurai out of the game. You Were Cool only just recovered to make that touch. A demo from Samurai, but Odin with the fake can't put it on target. Will only hit the crossbar. That one will bounce out. Samurai will count his lucky blessings that that did not find its way in, because that would have been, I feel, game 1 signed, sealed, and delivered for the Puffins. But they will have to try and do it again. Spidey going up onto the sidewall, tee it up into the air. Won't find the touch, but will actually look to try and catch it. And does, but Samurai, great read again, and just playing a smart game, a tactical game now of the Wolves. But they do have to find more chances, because right now they aren't creating anything that threatening. And the Puffins are just getting booming clears like that one that are forcing all of the time to be wasted in getting the ball back up the field.
Yeah, Wolves are finding scarce amounts of possession right now. They're able to make the ball, or get the ball down the field rather, but they're just not able to convert that into some sort of offensive opportunity. It seems like every touch in the corner turns into a counterattack for Odin and Spidey. Beautiful passing play. 4-2, two-goal advantage found once again.
Great touch from Spuddy, gets under it with that upside down flick, sends it all the way across the field to Odin, who catches that rather clean, didn't even bounce on its way in, and that, with 8 seconds to go. I've called games earlier. I feel safe and assured in the knowledge that I believe game number 1 is over as the clock will tick down to 0. It will touch the floor. Maybe there'll be another goal beforehand. Odin will look to try and find a double. Can't find it. That will fall down. And the Puffins will take game 1 in this 5-game series where here at MLE we play all 5 games regardless of the results in the previous ones. And for the Puffins, that's the perfect way to start a series.
No, and you were talking about this at the very start of the game, even further back than that in the pre-show, about how if Puffins were going to get wins, they were going to have to find the victories early on. And that early game offense that came out of the Puffins, scoring 2 goals in the first 15 seconds, incredibly important for that momentum going forward. If you can fight from the top of the hill, from the outset of the game, it just makes it so much easier of a road moving forward. That being said, Wolves did start to stabilize, did start to make their way back into the series. Now the question is, can Wolves get over the hump? Because it felt like they were able to get 1 or 2 goals to get back in. They were able to find 2 goals, but they just weren't able to get the necessary ones to fully take the advantage over the Puffins. As we hop into game number 2, Puffins do have a 1-game advantage, but we certainly can't count the Wolves out just yet.
Yeah, and what that has done is that has actually tied up, by this exact point, the Metabase side of things. Those standings, both teams now on an 8-8 record. It literally comes down to these next 4 games. Whichever team comes out the strongest will take top of the division. For the Puffins, they're looking for more than a 3-2, otherwise they'll be tied with the Wolves. Really, at this point, you'll take 2 games out of the series and maybe you can push for a 3rd now. Game number 2 will be starting momentarily, 5 minutes on the clock and everything to play for. Can the Puffins keep the form up? Oh, the Wolves destined to start off really strong. Well, the Wolves are destined to start off really strong.
Well, it's the same kind of start as we saw out of the Puffins earlier on, where the Wolves now have this early advantage. They're fighting from the high ground already, and it's a strong start, a strong rebound, I guess, from game number 1. Puffins fighting from behind, but I mean, it's a kickoff goal at the end of the day. You've got to continue to work the offense, and Spidey might have just done that. It's off the backboard. Odin swooping in. He's going to find the touch, put it bottom corner. First 10 seconds, we've seen a goal apiece already.
Yeah, it feels like these 2 teams, they love the early goals at the beginning of the series. They love to get them going quickly, and then they have that sort of breakdown period from like 3 minutes onwards where nothing happens. It is just a back and forth game at that point, but those early seconds, these ones that we're currently sitting in still, these are the most tense ones for both teams because neither team's defense has looked all that strong at any given point. The Puffins maybe a little bit more so, but neither team really have been focusing on the defensive side. It's more offense, and right now, can the Puffins find a way to bring this one into the offensive half? Spidey will be demoed for his efforts. You were cool, great job there on the recovery to get that one dealt with. The pass out from Samurai almost finds you were cool. Good job from Spidey to just read the shot and maybe not make a touch, but just let it roll through and force the Wolves now to have to back off into their defensive zone for the first time in about half a minute.
Yeah, right now Puffins are stepping up. They've got an open net to shoot at, but Spidey just didn't rotate in quick enough. He'll end up with possession. At the end of it, the dunk is almost good, but not quite the shot that they needed to. Right now, Puffins completely controlling the possession in the purple half, and Odin puts it right down. Bar down, 2-1, advantage found for the Puffins.
Yeah, you were cool looking for something there. Looking to try and slam it off the side wall, maybe get a little bit of a firmer contact on the ball, but just flipping past it and gives Odin all the room to absolutely bury that. Crossbar down. It's always the hardest shot to hit in Rocket League because those posts, they don't seem to obey the laws of physics. They don't normally bounce the ball down and in. They bounce them pretty much everywhere you don't want them to go. But right now the Wolves, they're going to pray that the crossbar and the post start favouring them a little bit more because they have to find a goal again to tie us up and not be down 2 games in this series after game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting yourself in essentially reverse sweep territory could be dangerous at that. I mean, we do play all 5 games. It's not something that's incredibly dangerous. You were cool's proving that he's even more deadly than that. 2-2 as I'm trying to do some color commentary. You were cool. He strikes back, equalized the scoreline up, and suddenly we've got ourselves a ball game, effectively 0-0 now.
Yeah, it always feels like whenever we try and get something going and get a rhythm going as commentators, the players love to, well, you know, do their thing and just say, no, there's no rhythm, this is just goals. Spidey almost did that in the middle of me saying it, which would have been hilarious, but Odin will now try and do it himself. Off the ceiling, gets a touch, that's on target! Oh, and it goes in! A beautiful goal to seal up his hat-trick and make it 3-2 for the Puffins.
Yeah, perfect read off the ceiling. Oh my goodness. Just a great touch right there. Puts it right where Samurai is awkward to get to it. 3-2 now. It's a strong showing for both of these teams right now. I mean, I think this just shows how close they are in skill level, not just in like leaderboard points. And now right now we played 2 minutes of game, and quite frankly, I don't know who I see taking this because it feels like more of a home run derby than a calculated game of baseball. Both these teams coming out in all cylinders and, well, firing whatever way they can.
Yeah, it's ironic because the cars can explode. It does feel like a bit of a demo derby. Everyone just throwing haymakers early on, slamming into the sides of the backs of each other's nets, but nothing really sticking. And right now, it's going to come down, I think, to the Puffins and Odin specifically, who is having a series to remember, almost does it all himself. Gets a demo, Samurai, great recovery to make the save on that one. Spidey not able to find the touch, and that one will be cleared away. Here comes Samurai, though, down the field. Gonna catch it on the roof of his car, looks for the flick, can't find it. You were cool with the follow-up, though. Beautifully placed, tied game 3-all.
Right now, Wolves are excelling at this counter-attack game right now. They force Odin to make a weak save. You were cool, steps up, puts it top corner. It's heartbreaking for the Puffins right there because they had the pressure just over and over and over, barreling down on the Wolves, but they weren't able to find that goal. Suddenly, 1-2 touches Samurai and You Were Cool. They combined once again, and now they're starting to reach the crunch time of this game. Samurai's going to find himself another shot, taking advantage over the Puffins for the first time so far this series.
Yeah, it feels like a long time coming. You were cool, good tee up there, great touch. Looks to try and put it in himself, but Samurai, quick rotation in, and sometimes just a speedy rotation is all you need. And the Wolves find themselves, like you said, for the first time in the lead of this series. But how long is that lead destined to last? Because this has been a very high goal scoring series already. We have now got more goals in 3 minutes than we did in the entirety of game 1, which had 6. As a reminder, there were, I believe, a total of 16 shots in that one. It does feel like both teams are hyper-aggressive, looking for the win, not via quality of chances, but more like to quantity at this point, and just throwing shots out as often as they can and trying to create as much room as they can. But it is the Wolves who are looking a little bit more comfortable now in this one, I may say so myself, and they are looking to try and take this one home with 1:30 to go.
Yeah, something switched for the Puffins that I can't quite put my finger on, but they just haven't looked as deadly so far in game number 2. Now, that's obviously something that can come through the in-game breaks as Odin, he's looking for a stunner. He doesn't find a touch on that one. What a beauty it would have been. As the Wolves keep this ball down here in the orange half, they're looking for a 5th right now. A 1-goal advantage is certainly not a comfortable seat to be sitting on. Odin's going to find a beautiful flick. It's off the backboard. Can he turn it around? No. He'll get demoed for his action. Spidey's up again. So far, Wolves hanging on for dear life. Samurai will be able to dribble this out, work it down the field. Demo play coming in, but it's not going to convert. Even though the Puffins may be awkward, they have stayed alive, at least for a little bit right now.
I love that from Odin. Goes to trip up. I believe it was You Were Cool on the rotation back, and that is a beat that You Were Cool will remember, because that has given him an open net to shoot at. Samurai will make sure that one tucks its way home. And with a playmaker medal to himself and another goal for Samurai, his hat-trick secured. That is a 2-goal lead for the Wolves, and they look better, I think is the word. They're not comfortable, neither team has looked comfortable in this game, but they look a lot better than they did in in game number 1, and they are looking much more threatening on the offensive front. Speaking of threatening, Odin is going for that double tap, and I swear he'll hit one by game 5.
Yeah, if you throw everything at the wall, eventually something's going to stick, and maybe it's a ceiling shot, maybe it's a must-be save. It doesn't really matter because, well, quite frankly, the Puffins just haven't looked as strong this game. The Wolves have stepped up big time. They've capitalized and filled the holes in the cheese that they needed to. Now, it's a 1-1 series. I think we can go ahead and call it. I don't see 2 goals being scored, especially now that the ball is just bouncing around and all is but a formality. Wolves will take game number 2, and it's a strong one at that. It's a good late game performance. 2-goal advantage is enough to seal it and, well, put us moving into game number 3 with an all tied up series.
Yeah, it's a much better performance from the Wolves across the board. 8 shots for them. Puffins actually had the majority of the shots there. 10 shots to them. So 2 more than the last game, and funnily enough, 2 more goals. So shows you the level of quality here. But a total of 9 saves on the field from all players that played and partook there. 6 assists. It feels like there's a level of cohesion between these 2 teams that is sort of second to none right now, and it's very interesting to see because I'm sorry, someone is laughing at me in the DMs. I'm kind of confused what's going on there. That threw me off for a second, but it really feels like the Wolves have stepped up their game. They've stepped up their composure on the field, and they're looking a lot better going towards game number 3, which is possibly the most important game for them. If they can take that, they have more momentum going into game 4, and they can take the series there. But for the Puffins, they want to reset it. They want to lock it back down. They want to lock this series down. And to do that, they need to take a game winning game 3.
No, absolutely. You're spot on there, Fallen. This is the swing game, I think. I think this is really what's going to determine the momentum moving forward. Sure, these teams are tied up 1-1, but this game right here has a lot on the line. I mean, we've got 2 teams that have shown that they're evenly matched. Taking game number 3 right at this halfway point of this series could be incredibly crucial for the momentum, for the energy moving on forward. And, well, Odin's already going for poor aerial plays as well, trying to get something fancy going quick. But now here comes the counterattack for Wolves as you were cool. Appears to run out of boost before you can get anything done. Not really any control being found. That's going to be a weak touch by Samurai, and Spidey's going to convert for that easy as you would like. 20 seconds in, 1 goal found.
So that was an inside joke that made me crack up there. Apologies for that one, ladies and gentlemen. But Spidey not cracking up at all on offense, finally finding the back of the net on a consistent basis. He's been doing a great job he's not been the best player on the field by any stretch of the imagination. Odin has had a series that is very difficult to top even when you're on top form. It feels like this is a once in a season level performance from him. He's been outperforming possibly all expectations for a single player in doubles. Has been playing out of his mind, maybe not finding as many goals as he'd like, but he has looked comfortable enough on the field that he can make them happen. And right now, he is making these passing plays happen for Spidey. To sort of sum up what I was going to say, hasn't looked as consistent on the offensive side, and proves it there. Open net chance will only find the post, and now the Wolves will be able to hold up on defense and grab some boost before making maybe an attack of their own.
Yeah, I was going to say that Samurai played that perfectly right there, but Odin immediately steps in and shuts it down as quickly as he could. I mean, the demos are coming out and the play is starting to speed up for both of these teams, but right now I think that the Wolves just kind of need a breather. I say that as it's bottom corner now, it's Spidey or Odin. I don't remember who was. They're not able to find the save here. 1-1. Right before we cross halftime, Odin just not able to find that touch, not able to get it to his corner. We got a tie game here, Fallen. I was thinking that they needed a break, but these teams just keep hammering on the pressure.
Anytime you think we're going to get a breather, we're going to get a break, it never happens. This is minor league esports, ladies and gentlemen. This is the quality you expect, and this is only our middle division. Out of 5 different divisions we've got 2 series coming up. Oh, as you recall, almost buries that into his own net. Good job at the pinch. Keep that one at bay. But in comparison, as Odin steals that one away, not just from his teammate, but also his opponent in Samurai, and will then have his life stolen away by Samurai. This is Champion League. We have, after this one, a Foundation League match. Was meant to be a Premier League match between the Elite and the Bulls. It's instead the Sabres and funnily enough, my franchise, the Foxes, competing as Spidey once again cannot put in an open net. That is another crossbar miss, and that one could come back to haunt them as the Wolves look to push on the offensive side.
No, absolutely. Just constantly hitting the post or the crossbar can just absolutely deteriorate your confidence as you're shooting. You're getting the opportunity, just not able to put it inside the uprights. The Puffins continue to extend down the field, though, and the pressure is definitely there, and it's a key reason as to why they're still tied up in this game despite all the missed shots. But right now, Wolves are finding a way to break out. They're trying to find the touch right here. Spidey will shut it down at midfield, and he'll take control right here. Looking for a teammate. Odin had different ideas. He's run out of boost, but Spidey, he'll keep this in the attacking third for now. Odin has to retreat. He's definitely pulling whatever stops he's got because he's got to buy time for his teammate to race back. Last 2 minutes of this swing game right now. It's a beautiful shot by You Were Cool, but that's off the post again. We've seen so many shots that were just off the mark that it feels like these teams are just dying to put in that advantage goal.
Yeah, it feels like one of the things... Oh, that one's gone in! How has that one found its way in? Spidey has put in the most beautiful angle I've ever seen. Tips it up high. Looks like it's going to hit the ceiling. No. Samurai goes to read it, can't find the touch, and for the first time, in what feels like forever, a ball has found the back of the net in possibly the most... I don't know how to describe that sort of a goal. That is possibly the weakest goal I've seen.
No, absolutely.
Dolma another one.
Yeah, it's just strange to see, at this level, just a floater just not find the read. But this is Rocket League. Sometimes that kind of stuff happens where just you miss the touch. Samurai's looking to right his runs. Holy cow, Samurai strikes back.
Well, that's revenge for one miss. Absolutely nails this. Gets a double tap off the post. Whether it's intentional or not, he looks like he's just going for the beat there onto Odin and to put it home. Does get the beat, but it basically goes counterintuitive to what I was about to say. I was about to say, well, the Puffins, the one thing they've had going is when the Wolves have broken out of their own half, they've beaten the first man of the Wolves, but the second man has always had the pace to beat them out and get that challenge right. In that case, no. That was a little too slow from the Puffins defense from Odin, as Samurai once again makes a good stop there to keep a shot at bay. It feels like the pace sort of slowed down for a second from Odin, and it gave Samurai all the room he needed to hit a Player of the Week nomination level double tap at the minimum.
Yeah, but keep in mind, that's just to tie up the game, and they've got to be looking for the advantage goal right now. It's a flick from Odin, but You Were Cool. He's there. He's ready to save it. As possession continues for Puffins, it's definitely been one of their strongest qualities. It's just being able to constantly have an onslaught onto the purple net. It's a beautiful shot by Odin. Keeps it over the defender, puts it in the back of the net. Advantage found for Puffins with 45 seconds left to go.
Yeah, it's... That is pretty positive. You can't ask for a better goal than that from Odin. Controls it once in the corner. Second time round, comes through with the shot on target. Finds a very difficult angle as well at that. But now we see the Wolves once again in familiar territory. They've got a goal to find. Can they do it? They managed to win a game when they were trailing by 1-0 in game number 2. However, the first time they were trailing, when a scoreline was 3-2, it went in favour of the Puffins. So, records vary, but I would say this one is definitely going to be an interesting one. That's an open net chance. Spidey will look to put it home. Will only find the post again. That one will roll out. 15 seconds on the clock. Wolves' last chance saloon, but You Were Cool will not find it. A bit of a miscommunication, though, from the Puffins on the backboard will give the Wolves a little bit of a chance, but a good clearance from Spidey will just about seal it. Time will tick down to 0. The flick from Odin will drop the ball. The Puffins take game 3, and they look set to push on for a series win.
Yeah, Puffins take the swing game in this series, and it's a great, considering how many shots they took. Poor Spidey, 7 shots and only 2 goals found. It felt like every other shot he was taking was off the post or the crossbar, or a combination of the two. But they do find the win here, only by 1 though. Wolves statistically a little bit more offensively efficient, and that's what you've got to do against a team as skilled as the Puffins. But right now for the Puffins, they convert more shots than their opponents do, and quite frankly, that's as simple as Rocket League is. You score more goals than your opponents, you're going to win the game, and this is a strong win for the Puffins. Moving on, later into this series, Puffins definitely have the advantage and have the momentum moving forward.
I mean, eventually, if you put on 11 shots to your opponent's 4, you want to expect that you'll come away with a win. But for the Puffins, it's a little bit of accuracy woes of putting them in very tense situations, and especially with Samurai having a very good game there all across the board. One mistake, really, though, was the deciding thing. That second goal for the Puffins put them ahead. That was really all that it was necessary for the Puffins. They capitalized on one mistake, and as we now head to match number 4, are mistakes going to be the capitalizing factor? Are they going to be the reason that the Puffins come away with the series winning game 4? Or are they going to be the reason that the Wolves find themselves tied up game 5 heading into that? It's very difficult to tell. And I feel like we'll only find out in the first 10 seconds. Off the post. Can Odin put it home? Yes, he can. 10 seconds, 1 goal. Who'd have guessed it? It's a series in a nutshell.
Yeah, if you had to sum up this series so far, it's been the series of opening goals in the first 10 seconds because Odin, he's finding another one, puts it far post, and Samurai, he's got to commit either near post or far post, chooses near, and it's shot far. But 10 seconds in, already advantage for Puffins once again. It's more shots coming in by Samurai, but Odin's able to knock that one away. Just keep it in midfield, easy as you would like, dribble it over everybody, but, well, lose living privileges for the time being. It feels like Puffins just aren't able to, they haven't found that possession at the very beginning, but they found that goal. They're already shooting more effectively. Samurai on the passing play wasn't able to find that touch. And here come the Puffins once again. It's going to be off the backboard, bouncing awkwardly off the bottom waterfall. Touchdown, but Odin opted to get boost instead of go for the shot. It's a long floating shot. He'll make it back to save it as we equalize right around now at 4 minutes and 15 seconds. The shots are coming in by Wolves. Just they're not able to find that crucial final touch.
And Odin with a big flick will look to try and send this one on target. Not able to do so. That's a little bit lackluster. But one of the things I wanted to know, Spuddy had a shot there, was weak, but notably was on target. That may be the confidence maker. Well, I put it on target now I've just got to find the pace on the shot. We'll get a good pinch over the top of You Were Cool. That one's actually going to roll towards the target, and Samurai will be forced to clear it off his own line. You Were Cool having to make a little bit of a save there from Odin, who just went over the top of Samurai. Here comes You Were Cool, looking to go over the top of Spidey, can't do so. Samurai shot on target, that's beautifully placed inside of the post, and Odin rotating just a little bit too far forward will give the Wolves a tight game.
Yeah, it almost felt like Odin didn't really realize where he was on the field for a second. He got caught dilly-dallying up to his corner boost, and then it's just a nice shot by Samurai just to put it behind the defense. Now, past the 90-second mark, follow-up from Samurai off the kickoff. Not going to be able to find it just yet. Spidey will be able to take control, and Odin's been pumped downfield to help him out with the play. They'll get demoed. The play will stop. The onslaught will cease. But right now, I mean, Puffins are starting to bounce back a little bit. They did just get scored on the best time to score. Another goal is right after your opponents have, but they're going to need to find that goal quick. I feel like as this game continues to go on, I think that the Wolves have more of an advantage, I'd say, in the later half of the game in terms of if they have the advantage into that 90-second last minute mark, then they're surely destined to win. But these shots continue to rain in for Puffins. You Were Cool with a wide open net to shoot at, and misses it all the way. I mean, it's reminiscent of what we saw to Spidey. The shots coming in, not able to find them, but the offense definitely there for both these teams so far.
Yeah, neither team finding the shots they need to. Finally, that one will find a home. Samurai off of the back of some great play here from You Were Cool, forcing Spidey to get out of the way, not able to position himself correctly on the goal line, and just giving Samurai so much net to shoot at. Eventually, it's going to find its way in. Yeah, there's no way it doesn't at that point, right? Unless you completely missed your shot. But for right now, the Wolves, like you said, it's starting to favour them a little bit with the Puffins. Odin specifically will look to try and do it himself off the crossbar and down. Spidey will find the shot, almost bumped out of the way by his own teammate, but will find it. And just like that, tied game once again. Beautiful play from Odin to tee it up though.
Yeah, it's like you said, he acted like a baseball tee, and all Spidey had to do was come in and hit it as hard as he could into the back of the net. No missing that one, 2-2. We're across halftime now. We've officially crossed the halfway point in the series, and well, quite frankly, I think that the Puffins, they're heating up, but I'm just not entirely sure if they can keep up this momentum. It feels like they start off every game strong with a lot of momentum going in their favor, but they're just not able to capitalize on the middle to the late part of the game, and well, quite frankly, that's the part parts that matter most. It's a nice touch by Spidey, speedy as you would like. 3-2, Puffins find the advantage.
And finally, it feels like Spidey's had a shooting boost. Great first touch for control. Baits in both Wolves players. One's rotating back, one dives in on the challenge. And, well, that's all you need to do. Take both out of position and slam it all the way down the field. Finding the target on a consistent basis now. That's 2 for 2 in the last minute. It's a positive sign. That is also a positive sign for the Wolves, though, as they go over the top immediately off the kickoff. And, well, tied game immediately. That goal cancelled out.
Yeah, it just feels like these teams can't stay separated for too long. They're holding hands on the scoreboard right now, not able to take an advantage or run away with the scoring whatsoever. 3-3 now. It feels like when one strikes, the other retaliates. And now as this game goes on, You Were Cool is going to show the ice in his veins, put that one under the crossbar. 4-3, great shot off this kickoff.
And a second kickoff goal with a player going up and over the top to put it home. It's really just starting to become a little bit of a trademark of the Wolves here, but can they keep it going? They have that goal advantage. We saw how good they were with a goal advantage in game number 2, but right now they have to keep Spidey at bay, and Spidey is finding his quality. What a goal! That is a player of the week if I've ever seen one.
They're just trying to match each other, and it's like a shooting competition now. What a touch by Spidey. Puts it right in the corner. As upper 90 as you can ask for at that. This is probably, I want to say this is the highest scoring game we've had so far this series. And right now it just seems like these teams are trading blows. No control being granted over. Instead, the counterattacks being the defining feature so far on Utopia Coliseum. Now, it's the last 90 seconds of this game. The passing plays are starting to come out. We still are deadlocked. Like we talked about earlier, it's effectively a 0-0 game as Odin's showing his dribble skills and just keeping control, but that can't stop the counterattack underneath the defender. It was a slow result, but Samurai's going to find it here.
Let's say this is, for the sake of all cases, intentional. Man has just hit another double tap off the crossbar, or off the post, my apologies, and put it, this time, in a dunk over the top of Spidey. How demoralizing is that? You hit one of the best goals, arguably, you'll ever hit on a mainstream, and it's cancelled out by what can only be described as a bit of a lucky shot. That is heartbreak, and right now, the Puffins trying to deal with heartbreak. They have a minute to find another, to fill that void left in their chests. They need to find one right now. Odin will put it off target. We'll get a demo, though, just to try and keep the offensive pressure going. And Spidey, rotates a little too tight. That's a chance for You Were Cool, but he can't get there quick enough. Spidey, just a quick recovery, just enough. And the Puffins, the pressure is mounting, but the Wolves are holding. But for how long will they be able to keep up this defense that is surprisingly holding quite well so far, and as they finally are able to push back out of their own half after about a minute of constant pressure?
One thing you were talking about in the pre-show, Fallen, was that if the Puffins want to move on and secure a higher place spot, they've got to win by 4-1 or more. And right now, this is that chance right now because it's currently 2-1 in favor of the Puffins. Now, if this game goes in the favor of the Wolves, their chances to do that will be nullified, and they're making great saves across the board. It's going to be one final opportunity for the Puffins. Long shot downfield off the backboard. It's going to be kept up by You Were Cool. Maybe a misstep, but the ball will inevitably hit the ground. We've got a 2-2 series on our hands. Wolves, one of those X-Factor conditions was that they were going to have to take the series 3-2, and they've set themselves up perfectly for that.
Yeah, and of course, it's Game 5. Why is it always Game 5? It feels like ever so often in the season, it feels like we're getting more and more of these sorts of series. But teams are incredibly close, incredibly well balanced. And it's so difficult to call who comes away with a win. On paper, you'd bet money on the Wolves. They were number 1 coming into this. They were set to take top of the division, and they are still set to do that if they win Game 5. But you're looking at the players on the sheets as well. I believe it's a 1 salary difference, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in comparison, it's a 13-5 being replaced by a 14-5. The fact that the Puffins are able to hold their own so well is a testament to just how well both players are playing right now. And again, you mentioned that this was possibly the highest scoring game. It is now. It's at 9. Would have tied if it had stayed at 5-3, or stayed at 4-4 with their game 2, which was a 5-3. So I have no way of calling this. I don't. I have no way of deciding who wins it. I'm just along for the ride at this point, and I hope you are too at home.
No, absolutely. What a series we could ask for to open up the mainstream this week. And, well, quite frankly, it's the Wolves and the Puffins showing just how fierce they can be on the pitch. But now, 5 minutes left to go in regular time. It's his reset scoreboard, as is the timer. And now every chance is on the line. Every game, incredibly crucial win. Both of these teams want to take home the majority of the games. We'll just have to see how that pans out. Heidi starting off with a rocket of a flick, but he won't be able to put that by Samurai. The defense is holding strong right now for Wolves. They'll take a long shot downfield. That will be just outside the post, and they'll be able to keep it out. That's a pitch shot that'll be off the post as well. Not sure if either of those count on the scoreboard, but 2 early opportunities for Wolves that just don't quite go their way.
Odin, though, looking to try and put one on. Gets a double shot there. You were cool, baited out. Spidey goes over the top. Samurai with a great recovery save. The Wolves' defense has really come alive. They've been doing a lot better. They're just keeping the Puffins at bay. But how many more chances? Double commit here. Odin pulls himself out of it. Good attempt, but it's on the post and wide. You can't afford to miss those at this crucial juncture in the series. You have to be scoring when you need to. And the Wolves now will look to try and put one home. The bump on a Odin, the bump on a Spidey. Will it find its way in? The shots on target from you were cool, and it will. The Wolves take advantage of a couple of miscommunications and a couple of good bumps. And just like that, they have control.
4 missed shots in a row for Puffins has got to be a dagger to the lung cage right now. I mean, 1-0 off the back of all of the pressure that the Puffins have had. That is demoralizing at its textbook definition. Now, it's all about how you bounce back after this. Odin is starting off on offense once again as control is looking to be found, and they're seeking it out in whatever avenue they can. He's looking for a solo play, trying to put it down. Samurai will keep it off the sidewall, but they won't be able to find the necessary clear that just breaks them out. Who's just starting to run scarce, and double commits are starting to add up. It's going to be a nice touch by You Were Cool. He's not going to have the boost to follow it up, though. We've had 90 seconds right now fallen. 90 seconds, and the amount of tomfoolery we've seen already is off the charts.
Yeah, we've had about a game's worth of quality chances in about 10 seconds. It feels like you could put them all together. But right now, the Puffins are on the back foot. They are trying to break out of their own half. Buddy will tap that one to Odin. The redirect coming through. But You Were Cool on the goal line, and Samurai was also there to make the save just in case. But it feels like any chance that the Puffins have had has just been shut down. They've not been able to create enough pressure. Even though they've had it all, they're just not taking enough players out of the game before they put one on target. You Were Cool will take 2 out, and that'll give Samurai not an easy shot considering the way he hit that ball, but a shot nonetheless. And the Wolves have 2 goals. The last time they had a 2-goal cushion, they took the game. Is this it now for them? Are they set for the series win when they so desperately need it?
No, absolutely. And not to mention the fact that they've got double the amount of goals on half the shots right now. Puffins have had that offensive pressure, just not able to convert. In Wolves, I mean, we're talking offensive efficiency. 2 for 3 is pretty good at that. And they're looking to even find a third right here as they continue on with this pressure and this control. Now, they are stuck in their own half. Odin will touch this over the top. It's off the crossbar. And Spidey's not there to sweep in and get that goal. It's, again, it just feels like pain right now for the Puffins, but the Wolves they're completely comfortable playing in this. That is until you're bumped off, knocked out of the chair. 1-2, half the deficit to climb, and now Puffins, they're starting to strike back as they finally net their first.
What you just heard from me was what you'd probably hear if you're in the comms of the Puffins right now. A deep sigh of relief. You do not want to be going into the final 2 minutes not having scored with all of those chances. Sorry, just to remind people at home, if you aren't familiar with how many chances it is, it's 9-3. Make that 10-3 right now. And still, the Wolves lead 2-1. That is consistency. That is efficiency. You mentioned that word. That's a really good word to describe it because the Wolves have been efficient on defense and offense. Odin looks to try and do it himself. That's in front of the net. Spidey will put it home. That one's efficient enough. A beautiful play from Odin to tee this up. Will give the Puffins a tied game out of thin air.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about demoralizing and taking so many shots and not being able to convert any of them, if you're asking for something to hype you up even more, it's scoring 2 goals in that quick succession off of 2 great opportunities. Puffins are bouncing back and proving they deserve to be in the spot that they are. They're even going to find another right here. I say that as You Were Cool gets a nice clear out. It's a great demo by Samurai. Keeps it down here on the backboard as the Wolves are looking to take the advantage once more, and they're looking to find the pressure to do so. 90 seconds left to go, and this game is all tied up. It's a wide open net. The demo is not that well timed as Odin had rotated back, and You Were Cool. He can cleanly carry this down to the opposite end, looking for the touch over the top, able to keep it on the backboard. Pressure will resume, and the walls will continue to stand strong for the Puffins defense. They'll work it out, but right now they've got a little bit more than 60 seconds and change if they want to get back into this.
Odin!
What? Air triple out of Odin, and Samurai just can't get back. He's had so many Goal of the Week nominees already, and Odin's just adding on to the tally.
And if you want to submit any of those goals, any single one, go back into the VOD if you need to. Go and clip them on the Twitch channel. Send them over to the hashtag Player of the Week channel in the MLE server. I believe it's under Community. If you need to look for it, it's under the Community tab on the left-hand side. Find it, submit the clip with the title of, I guess, Odin's COVID or something like that, and that will go up for Player of the Week, where the winner will get a case of Balls Guarana shipped to them for free. Because, thank you, Balls Guarana, you're amazing. Speaking of amazing, that goal has gone in. Of course this game's going to go to overtime, isn't it? It's destined to. Samurai with an amazing pass, and You Were Cool with an amazingly placed shot. Couldn't have asked for better. Off the crossbar and in. Tie game 3-all.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Fallen. This game is destined to go to Game 5 or Game 5 overtime at that. I mean, 45 seconds left. It's tied up again. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, both these teams, they're one position place separating them, one game separating them at the very beginning of this series, and now they're fighting to take home the majority of the games, and they're showing their best effort right now. That's a bouncer towards the goal line. Odin goes off the crossbar to get the save and gets the boost. That huge advantage. He's got all the space and time. He's going to take a shot. I almost thought he hit it wide, but no, it's inside the uprights. 4-3, trying to take us from the clock counting down to the clock counting up. Odin's going to look to stop that with the 4th goal for the Puffins.
The confidence to hit at 110 km/h, because that is the correct measurement of speed, and you can't tell me miles per hour is better because kilometers is a bigger number, but to hit a hook shot at that speed with that much pressure on the line on an open net, it's the most unnecessary goal of this entire series, and we've had a double tap. Like, it doesn't feel right to say that, but the Wolves can still score here on the post. Oh, it almost got its way in. Samurai unlucky to not put that home, but the Puffins, that sigh of relief comes through again, and they take the series 3-2 after looking like it was all wrapped up about halfway through this game.
You know, Fallen, I wouldn't ask for another game to take years off my life than our first match of the night here on the MLE main broadcast. I mean, this game had everything. We started off with 2 missed squishy saves in a row, which it's not that important, but it's weird that it happened twice. Now we've had double taps. We've had aerial brilliance all come out, and Puffins will be taking that 3rd game, taking home the majority of the games at that. It's a strong result from the Puffins. It's a bit unfortunate for the Wolves, but it's a great victory for the Puffins. And moving forward, they're going to be incredibly pleased with the result of this one.
And that will put both teams above the Sabres, who were at the time leading team in the division. That'll put them both tied for top of the division. They'll only be separated by games won. We don't actually have that. I believe it's games won and then games, I think, against each other is how they figure it out after that. We're not exactly sure. I don't have the stats on hand to tell you how that works out, but that puts the division incredibly close. Now just 2 games separate 1st from 4th in the Arctic Division in Champion League doubles. It's a bit of a bigger gap in standard, but for all of the players involved, that's huge. And now we look to the next series. It will be a Foundation League one after this short break. The Sabres and what's Esports, the Foxes, they'll be competing on stream. And we'll see you after the short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.